What is up, guys, and welcome back to Danny Reacts. We're having an amazing day today. And today we have more of a serious video, and if you're under the age of 18, I do not suggest that you watch this video. It is the 10 most tragic water slide accidents in the world, and this is going to be really graphic, and it's for, like, mature audiences. And it's going to be really bad, guys. I'm kind of scared, because I like water parks. And we're going to watch, like, terrible things happen to people when they go, like, down water slides, or, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but let's go check it out. Give this video a big, huge thumbs up. And thank you for 16,800 subscribers. You guys are amazing. And here we go.
MindGeek presents 10 Tragic Waterslide Accidents. Number 10. Oakwood Theme Park. In April 2004, 16-year-old Haley Williams visited Oakwood Theme Park with her
only 16.
family. While riding Hydro, a water roller coaster, she suddenly flew out of her car, falling 30 meters or 100 feet to the ground. She later died of internal injuries. The park was fined 250,000 euros for negligence after it was discovered that employees habitually declined to check the bars and seatbelts that held riders in place on the Hydro. The ride was closed for a year after Haley's death and then renamed Drenched. Number 9.
So the employees did not even check if the seats worked. And then she died because of that. That is terrible.
Action Park. New Jersey's Action Park boasted what is perhaps the worst reputation of any amusement park in history. The place was a perfect storm of unsafe rides, drunken patrons, and disinterested teenage employees. Countless injuries were suffered on the park's water slides. At least 6 people were killed during the park's history, including 3 drownings, an electrocution, and a heart attack allegedly caused by the shock of frigid water beneath a rope swing. One man died when the car he was riding on leapt off the Alpine slide, causing him to smash his head on a rock. By 1998, the crushing weight of lawsuits forced the owners to close down Action Park. A few years later, it was reopened in a sanitized version as Mountain Creek with a new emphasis on safety, the reckless and sinister history buried beneath signs and regulations. Number 8.
That's so terrible. Man, this is so sad.
Waterworld USA. In 1997, the water slide at Waterworld USA in California turned deadly. Water slides have always been a top cause of theme park injuries since they are often geared with poor safety precautions, short walls, and the likelihood of hitting your head and knocking yourself out is a real concern. In 1997, a gaggle of 33 high school graduating seniors crowded the water slide, causing the slide to collapse under their weight. A 17-year-old died from a crushed chest, and all 32 others were taken to hospitals. After that month, at the graduation ceremony, 17 students accepted their diplomas in wheelchairs. Number 7. Tidal Wave Pool at Action Park. Arguably the
I've been on this before.
most dangerous attraction at Action Park was the wave pool, nicknamed the Grave Pool by locals. It was the first turbulent water-bound mosh pit of its kind, with at least 12 lifeguards always on duty and as many as 30 saves being performed over a busy weekend. On July 24, 1982, a 15-year-old boy drowned in the pool. 2 years later, on August 27, 1984, a 20-year-old drowned, and on July 18, 1987, an 18-year-old met the same fate. Number 6. The Human Trebuchet at Middlemore Water Park. It probably isn't a great idea to combine one of the most powerful medieval siege weapons built to hurl boulders at castle walls with human subjects. For bored residents of Somerset, England, it must have seemed like a good idea at the time. Middlemore Water Park came up with the winning combination of powerful siege engine and awesome amusement park ride for all ages in Oxford's Dangerous Sports Club's authentic period piece trebuchet. Suffice it to say, not the most accurate or safest device ever invented. After 2 Oxford undergraduates unfortunately missed the proposed safety net and splattered on the ground, police arrested the 2 ride operators and charged them with the classic indictment of operating a medieval siege weapon without a license. At least that's how the story goes.
So the people who operated the machine did not even have a license, and people died because of their negligence. I can't even talk. But do water park people who work there have like a really big responsibility? Like they have control over people's lives. Like
Number 5. The vertical log flume. Is it any wonder that if one builds a water-based attraction with a near vertical drop, it's going to cause an accident at some point during its lifespan? There have been several incidents involving these kinds of rides since they became a common feature in any self-respecting amusement park, including at least 2 tragically fatal mishaps. In the UK, a young girl plunged 100 feet at Oakwood Theme Park after the safety bars holding riders in place at the very top of the drop were not checked properly. And 3 years earlier, in a very similar incident, a 40-year-old woman at Knott's Berry Farm in California was sent to an early grave after her extreme body size incurred gravity's wrath on the park's perilous plunge attraction. Number 4. Kayak experience. One more massive no-no at a water park is the introduction of electricity to H2O. However, at Action Park in New Jersey, where else, they figured they'd do just that. The kayak experience was a fixed boat ride down a narrow channel imitating a real whitewater course. Each patron was given their own kayak, inevitably leading to the cases of capsizing. What's more, in 1982, an unfortunate guest at the park fell out of his boat and in the ensuing chaos, somehow managed to make contact with the electrical current of an underwater fan, with a loose wire held responsible. He and 2 others were electrocuted and he died later in hospital. The ride was then shut down for good. Big surprise!
Okay, why would he put an electric wire in a pool of water? That is so dumb. Most of these are caused by like employees being like dumb and not checking like the different precautions. And electric wire, I don't understand this. It's so sad.
3. Discovery Cove SeaWorld. Part of SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida, Discovery Cove aims to give its guests an interactive experience with the opportunity to snorkel among tropical fish and interact with dolphins, otters, and monkeys. For many, such an experience would be a dream come true, but for 59-year-old British tourist Keith Clark, it would turn into a nightmare that ended in his death. While swimming at the park, he cut his toe on a piece of coral. A hemophiliac, Clark suffered complications from the wound, and 3 days later, he collapsed at the airport on his way home. Suffering from septic shock, he was flown home to England, where doctors attempted to save him by amputating his legs below the knee. Their efforts would come too late, and Clark died of Group B streptococcal septicemia after his organs failed. Number 2. The Cannonball Loop Slide. As this list shows, New Jersey's Action Park is pretty much the mecca of bafflingly stupid ride concepts, so it was no surprise, sometime in the 80s, that some genius at the park's headquarters decided it would be a very smart idea to invent a fully enclosed water slide that incorporated a complete loop-the-loop at the end. The ride was the only one of its kind, and proved so unstable that it was only tested a handful of times, reputedly following the apparent decapitation of a test dummy and, according to some reports, injuries suffered by employees who took the kamikaze plunge on trial runs. Number 1. Taiwan Water Park. More than 200 people were set on fire after an explosion at a water park in Taiwan caused a fireball to tear through a huge crowd on this day. Colored powder sprayed onto hundreds of people suddenly ignited, with flames engulfing people as they tried to flee. Shocking footage of the accident shows chaotic scenes as victims try to escape from the flames while screaming in agony. More than 200 people were taken to hospital after the blaze, with 80 in serious condition. Miraculously, no fatalities have been reported as of yet. It is believed that 1,000 people were inside the amusement park when the powder was sprayed in the crowd as part of a color party, a festival of dance and music where people cover themselves in bright paint. Well guys,
Honestly, this is so sad that people had to die because of bad employees and like people not checking like the different precautions, like checking like their seatbelts, and like it just blows my mind. These are people's lives, you know what I mean, that are just lost, just like that. and it's very sad. And I want to think twice before going down a water slide, which I really shouldn't have watched this video, because I'm always gonna be like on like the lookout when I'm on like a water slide, because I love water slides. But anyway, that's the video. Plus, the full length video is in the description below, and leave me some more suggestions on videos you want me to react to in the comments below. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace.